We all set? Okay, let's start this town meeting. Roll call, please.
Yanni.
Here.
Fasenello. Baker.
Yes.
Larson.
Here.
Schneider. Ramirez.
Here.
Gallagher.
Okay, we got 4 in attendance, so we have a quorum. Let's go on to the next item. Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Now to bless this meeting, we have Reverend Sean Rousseau. Welcome.
Good evening. It's good to be here with you. Let us pray. The first part of this prayer, actually, I forgot to mention, was written by George Washington. And then the second part I added to it. Let us pray. Source of all being, who has given us this good land for our heritage, we humbly beseech that we may always prove ourselves a people mindful of your favor and glad to do your will. Bless our land with honorable industry, sound learning, and good manners. Save us from violence, discord, and confusion, from pride and arrogance. Defend our liberties, fashion into one united people, the multitudes brought together out of many nations and tongues. Fill us with the spirit of wisdom, fill those with the spirit of wisdom to whom we entrust the authority of government, that there may be justice and peace at home, and that through obedience to the law, we may show forth your praise among the nations of the earth. In the time of prosperity, fill our hearts with thankfulness. In the day of trouble, suffer not our trust in you to fail. We commend our nation to your merciful care, that being guided by your providence, we may dwell secure in peace. Grant to those who hold office in our Commonwealth of Virginia, our county of Prince William, and our town of Haymarket, especially here in our town, the staff, the council, the police department, the spirit of wisdom and charity and justice, that with steadfast purpose they may faithfully serve in their offices to promote the well-being of our citizens. Guide those ministries within our town that meet basic human needs, especially the Haymarket Food Pantry, which gives food to those who need it every week, and to Carry to Full Term, which provides a secure haven for homeless pregnant women. That those on these teams will serve with generosity and compassion. We ask this prayer and all the prayers we hold in our hearts in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Now we'll hear from Duck Donuts, Mary Lee Tanuki, manager. Welcome.
Good evening, everyone. Nice to meet you. My name is Mary Lee Tanuki. I'm the owner, along with my husband, of the Duck Donuts here in Haymarket at the Cross Village Center. A little about myself. I used to be in Prince William County Schools. I was an administrative assistant for an assistant principal. And then this past year, I was actually the parent liaison here for Haymarket Elementary. So that was really, it was really cool to see everybody, to meet families here in the Haymarket community. So when we made the change into Duck Donuts, it was really nice, and I actually get to see those families on a daily basis, which is really, really cool. And I get to see the kids, which is really nice. So that way I was able to form a bond with them. So my thing of Duck Donuts, of why Haymarket, was because of the community and the bonds that I built with the families. So with Duck Donuts, I want to be able to go ahead and help. That I'm familiar also with the Haymarket Food Pantry, as well as Carry to Full Term. I was able to build a bond with some of the women there, which was really cool, and I hope to continue to do that with Duck Donuts and to be able to help them out as much as I can. And then I also have a little girl, 6-year-old, who goes to Buckland Mills, and I have a freshman who goes to Gainesville Elementary. So it's a little bit of a roller coaster, but it's so nice to see, the community and be able to relate to parents, especially everyone around here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And welcome. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you.
Questions? Okay. Okay, move on to the next item, citizens' time. Do we have anybody here who wants to speak on behalf of any issues in town? Any emails this week or this month? Okay, then we'll move forward with the consent agenda. Do we have anybody who wants to pull out any of the reports?
May I please pull the community liaison report outreach? Yeah.
Okay. Any other report? Okay, so if I could have a motion.
All right, so we're doing the community liaison report right
Yes.
here.
Yes.
So Mayor, may I ask that we approve item A 1 through 3, B 1 through 5, item C 1 through 2, 4 through 5.
Second.
Okay, motion second. Any discussion before we, last chance to pool? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you, guys. I apologize that my liaison's report is not in the agenda. I've been very, very busy hosting the youth and government program for our middle schoolers. So my attention has been deep dived into that. Last year, you may recall that, could we set that to present mode, please? Thank you. Last year, you might recall that we had stretched out the meetings through the course of 4 weeks. This time we did it all within 1 week. So it was pretty cool. We utilized the day off from school on Friday that Prince William County offered to observe Diwali. And we spent all day here in town hall and while they did their work session. And I was worried that the middle schoolers may run out of things to say because that's a long time to talk. I was surprised that we ended up having to set time limits to debate topics. So they were very engaged and it was a really rewarding experience. Help, Alex. I'm pushing the button.
Good. Do we got a point over here or?
Side might need to go on. No, on the remote, on the remote, on the side, there's an off and on. That might
you.
be-
There we go. Okay, so the intention is obviously, as discussed before, was to really make this a tangible experience, make government feel real and not scary, and help them feel empowered to be the voice of the future. The application ran for about a month. We had 10 applications. That math's not mathing. We received 10, right? 5, 2, and 1. I don't know. Obviously, this very intensive week-long program has fried my brains lately, so I apologize. We had students from Reagan, Bull Run, and Gainesville Middle. I did try to reach out further this year and reach out to Marsteller, and I believe Unity Reed is the other middle school, kind of towards Manassas, but closer to us. I was really hoping to branch out a bit. So this was kind of like our timeline, just much like last year, except for closer together in dates. So the first one was they came to town hall. We had the wonderful mayor here, and as well as our council member, Joe Passanello, and they mentored the 8 participants that were on council. And then Roberto helped with our town treasurer mentorship, and Emily mentored the town manager position. And I have to say, it was a really, really rewarding experience. I want to thank all the mentors that participated. Thank you very much. Then we went on to learning about how a town meeting is run, the rules and policies and all those things, and the verbiage that we need to keep, and the role of the town planner in that. We then took time to create an agenda, and that took up most of our time because they had lots of ideas on how to spend proffer dollars. So that's the task that they were given. Then on November 1st, we met for a work session, like I said, and then today we actually finished our town council mock meeting where they voted and passed something. So let's move forward. These are the 14 agenda items they chose to discuss on our work session meeting. And it was very interesting to see how some things kind of could have been combined, and we were able to do that for future discussion points. But I love how vast their intentions were, right? We see things as far as textbooks to foreign language to sports and clubs. You know, programs to help support increase in knowledge for, you know, coaches or teaching. And they just really, they had IT classes up there, all sorts of things. So they saw a lot of needs across the span, and I was really happy to see that it wasn't just focused on middle school. During their work session, the school board member, Jennifer Wall, came to speak to them and kind of hear parts of their debates and concerns. And she addressed many of them with them. And then we did have a brief short recess where they could ask her like one-on-one questions of her as well. So it was very cool for her to come in and see. They were talking about security in particular, which I know she's part of a board there for that. And so she really dove into what Prince William County has done, what they continue to do, and their plans for the future. And she took lots of notes, and the kids felt really good about that. So that was a really cool experience for them. Moving forward, oh, and I do want to mention that we also took a brief recess, and I want to thank Chief for hosting a nice little mini tour of the department. So they got to see and meet our new officer. I cannot pronounce her last name, I'm sorry. Collish. Okay, so they met Officer Collish and saw Sergeant Finley, apologize. And it was a nice little detour break from the debates. So tonight we were able to cover 4 topics in an hour, which, you know what, that's better than what our record is, right? So I was really proud of them. They put in motions. These are the topics of the motions that were put to the floor. The only motion to pass was to hire, not hire professional coaches, but to provide and fund training for coaches to prevent sports injuries. And that motion passed unanimously by the students. So it was very interesting to hear them debate. And I think our supervisor, Bob Weir, would be very proud of one-time money being used one time, not for an annually or recurring expense. I know that that was like one of his big talking points at one point. So, and that is also what something this school board member Wall had mentioned as well and highlighted. So they were learning a lot and learning quickly, and I was really proud of them. This was their official motion that was passed. Councilmember Misra moved to fund training programs for sports coaches to prevent sports injuries. She estimated the cost between $1,000 and $7,592. Obviously, that is something that would need to go to staff to confirm those expenses. But considering that our proffer amounts for the schools was somewhere around $1 million, $1.2 million, I think the council could easily absorb that cost. It was seconded and then unanimously passed, as I said. The feedback I got were a lot of really grateful students and parents. They seemed to really enjoy the program, and I will be sending out a survey at the end to hear more from them. As always, I'm open to feedback from staff and the mentors. And so, yeah, so thank you for letting me host it. It was a really rewarding program.
Thank you.
Thanks.
That's awesome.
Yes, yes.
I do have just one comment.
Yes.
So when we were attending the VML conference, I've been wanting to say concert, I do say it quite often, but a conference in Virginia Beach on our last day, one of the questions that was proposed is, how do you see your community changing in the next 10 years? And seeing the discussion from youth is vitally important to pay attention to that and see what they are seeing and actually implement their discussion into what we are looking at for the future within our community. So I appreciate what they discussed and how they formulated and worked through all of that. So thank you. That was a big connection for me this evening. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely want to give credit to our town manager, Emily. She's been vital in creating these sort of scenarios with me for these students. And it was her idea to address the park to align with our park discussion last year. And she proposed that I consider the proffer idea as well. And so I really want to thank Emily for helping me keep this relevant to what town council's doing, because I agree with you, looking to the future and making sure that that input is on the mind of council is important too. So thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, and that's really all I had for my
Okay.
report.
Anybody have any questions, comments? Okay, I'd like to thank you for putting that together for us, Mary, and any support help that the staff gave. Thank you for this event. As Mary has said, this helps mold our children for the future and give us a more prosperous future. So thank you. Okay, I need a motion to adopt this this report.
So with that, Mayor, may I? I move that we adopt the liaison report, section C, number 3.
Second.
Okay, motion and second. Any quick discussions before we vote? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Good. So we'll move on. First agenda item we have here is the, well, before I go into agendas, I need to get the friendly acceptance to add an item onto the agenda. I was going to add it as the 4th item, which is with the situation of our town manager having to take extended leave. We will need to appoint an acting town manager. So if there are no objections, we will friendly amend this agenda with item number 4.
No.
No objections?
No.
Okay. So we'll add that. Now we'll go to item 1, which is resolution 2024-008 budget amendment.
Yes, good evening, council and mayor. So the budget amendment you guys see in front of you is something that was actually brought up during finance liaisons discussion this past week. Chief was able, through his work, able to obtain an additional grant that kind of goes off of the DMV grant. Actually, it's within the DMV grant. Specific grant he has applied for and received this $12,213, which is for equipment that would assist with the DMV Select program we're currently running. This is a pass-through. Basically, when he applied for this grant, he will be submitting reimbursements for any of the purchases that he makes that will assist to help the officers with this DMV program. It's under the 1% of the overall budget. So that is why we brought it up. So we can make sure that he has it appropriated to the budget and able to expend out in the coming months. If you have any further questions, the chief is here. I'm sure he's happy to help you answer any questions you may have concerning this grant.
You had any questions?
Yes, Chief, just get a little bit better idea. What is the money being used for to purchase?
Sir, during the grant, what I did was write out for a speed sign on the east side of the town to replace our aging one that's there by the park. This sign will be much like the new one we put on the west side of town. It will collect the data more data that we're looking for as far as not just volume, but 85 percentile speed ratios, high volume times. It'll give us a larger breakdown for that specific area. Not just that we just won't have it on the west side, have it on the east side as well. And those will work in tandem. We'll be able to get better data on where the traffic's flowing, helps us with our patrol patterns as well. And then any potential conversations myself, the town manager, the treasurer might have with VDOT about traffic issues. The other item is a radar unit, but it's 2 radar units. Since we've added to our fleet, we would purchase 2 radar units to be put into service for the 2 new officers and the 2 new vehicles. That way we're offsetting the price for that equipment, that the town would not be encumbered upon any of that. It's a 100% purchase through the grant, and it's ran through the DMV grant as well. Same paperwork. So it's just another little section I have to fill out once it is, and it's like the treasurer said, it's a pass through.
Yeah, I like the part about the data, collecting the data, and potentially that will allow us to engage VDOT with some of the things that we've been discussing, right?
Yeah, I think it'd be very, very fruitful on that aspect. And then we can compare it to data that we've had in the past and give you all a better snapshot. We've had the other sign up now 3 months plus collecting data, and I think we'll be able to give you some information from that might be helpful in your all's planning as well. And the one on the east side of town will generate the same data.
Thank you, Chief.
Yes, sir.
That's right. Like the trending to find out what the impact of closing 15 was to our town, right?
Yeah, I
Those-
missed that.
The
Those numbers
signs
should
could
be
probably,
upscaled.
because I think it does track vehicle count, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does have a volume counter, but it does a lot. I can't wait to show you what all data it does track and how it will break it down for you. So my data nuts up there will be very excited about that. So
Did you have anything? Okay, yeah, do you plan on reusing the old sign? Even though it may be limited, I think we need visibility on Jefferson Street as well, since that's,
we do, and also on Fayette, on both sides of Fayette, we're having some issues there as well. And so to put that sign up, it has to have a VDOT approval. But I found a way to kind of circumvent it, and talking to Officer Galbraith, had a really great idea. What we're going to do is the one speed trailer that we have, or the one message trailer that we have, the older white one, we're going to mount that speed sign to that trailer, use the battery system off of that and the solar panel to power that sign. And so that message board will now turn itself into a speed board as well.
Mhm.
Now, it's not going to collect all the data that our other signs will collect, but it will be a deterrent that we can put out there and still collect some data from. So we're reusing the signs in a way that we can without having to go through the VDOT hoops, so to speak.
yeah, and I'm assuming, I don't know what the VDOT regs are, but I know my parents' complex, they live in the Regency in Dominion Valley. They have a sign that they just pretty much attach to one of those metal stick poles that are in the ground, attach it there for a day or two, and then move it to a new location. So as long as it's temporary, I'm assuming VDOT can't complain. So there's always that concept too, right?
Right, roger that.
Also, I'm assuming we have more than one DMV grant. I know in the past we've had like pedestrian safety as well as alcohol and speed. Do we have multiples? Which one does this grant kind of pocket?
This
or belly
is in
under?
the equipment section of that, straight up equipment. But we do have, this public service as well in training, public service training. So community service. So basically we can go and hand out information about traffic and about pedestrian safety. And that's another form that's in this grant. That's another subsection that's in the DMV grant. So we did make it multifaceted this second year moving forward. So we've encompassed the training in that, and then the speed and the community outreach. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word I was looking for. To outreach.
Well, that's good. I love to see you sniffing out these extra dollars that helps benefit your team whenever possible.
It does. We're looking at another grant now that we're going to start paperwork on soon, the HEAT grant. So hopefully we can get a few more dollars from there too.
Okay, are there any more questions?
So Mayor, I have a motion. I move the Haymarket Town Council approve amendment to fiscal year 2024-2025 budget as designated by resolution 2024-008.
A second.
Okay, motion and second. Last chance for discussion. We'll put it to vote, and since it is money, I like roll call.
Vianney,
Aye.
Cato,
Yes.
Ramirez,
Yes.
Thank you. Next item, Town Council Strategic Draft Plan.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So in your agenda tonight, you will see that there is the strategic plan final draft that we received from our consultant. I will be working on Wednesday morning with staff to put into action our communication plan for this, to include app notifications, getting a mailer out by the end of the week for all of our residents. So this will go out hard copy in the mail with a cover letter of what we're doing and why, and how they can come participate and share feedback at the November 18th meeting. I will also put in there different options for them to email in comments should they not be able to make it, or who they can reach out to share comments if they have any. So with that, please take an opportunity to look over the plan draft. If you have any comments, feel free to go ahead and email them back to me. I'm going to keep a working document of those comments, and then that will be passed over to Roberto when I go out on leave. So hopefully we can get some good feedback from our community, and then at your work session, depending on the feedback you hear, it'll be at council's discretion on what needs to be done with those comments, how many comments came in, what needs addressing. You'll work with Roberto on making those edits and changes. And as necessary, he can certainly reach out to Stephanie and consult with her if she has any recommendations for what feedback we hear. So we'll get it all teed up nicely, communicated, and then we'll see what the public says.
Okay, Mary.
Thank you. I wanted to confirm, because I know we mentioned this at the retreat, but could you please make sure like we have this as an image to share on social media, since we're on both Instagram
Yes.
and Facebook? And when do you plan to share those?
Starting on Wednesday.
Okay, thank you.
So Emily, in terms of our feedback, are you planning on aggregating those and sharing it with the rest? If I do, or
Certainly,
how's- is
yes.
that- Okay.
Mhm. So what I'll do is I'll pull together everyone's comments from council. I've also sent it to staff. If staff has any comments that they feel they want to share on this as well, I'll put them all together in a working document, and then Roberto can include that in our work session agenda as a working document of council comments and feedback. And then any citizen comments that I might receive before the work session, we'll put in that working document as well with a citizen's kind of header. And then I'll ask Kim to help put all of the citizen feedback in that same working document so that we have it all in one place.
Tracy Lynn.
I know that this Sunday is our last farmer's market,
Mhm.
and you're doing your mayor tent. Is it something that we can formulate at that time as well, since we're going to publish it on Wednesday?
Absolutely. So we can make sure that we have ample copies available for pickup at the town booth. I do believe that there is a staff member planning to be at the market on Sunday. So as long as we have staffing and a council member or somebody who can help facilitate, absolutely, we can have that available.
Perfect. Thank you.
Can I add something to that? I love having having it available at the farmer's market. If we have like separate copies for people to take home and digest and then provide feedback on, can we ensure that in the packet that we give them, we have like exactly the contact information to provide comments, or maybe a QR code to like?
It'll be the same packet that I mail out. So
Oh,
we'll
okay,
just
so it's
print
already gonna be
extra.
in
So
there.
like how we have extra
Okay.
newsletters to pick
Mhm,
up, it'll
mhm.
be the same thing with a cover sheet, the who,
Perfect.
where, when, what, why, and then how to contact us.
Awesome. Okay, thank you.
Okay, everyone good?
Yep.
Cool.
Thank
Next
you.
item, Town Park House demolition?
So, Mayor and Council, following our discussions that we've had over the last two meetings, I have prepared a draft motion as requested at our work session last week. And with that, I believe Vice Mayor has the draft motion. I put in there the condition of the town hiring a photographer prior to the demolition to properly photograph and document the structure. And I also put the final total cost as added up in the contract that we reviewed. So if you have any questions after you read the motion and get a second, please let me know.
All right, Mayor. May I?
Yes.
Thank you. The Haymarket Town Council has deliberated and discussed the future of the town park house structure since 2022. During these discussions, the council evaluated options for implementing the Harover Park Master Plan, reuse of the structure by a private party for an event center, reuse of the structure for a community center, demolition of the structure, and the overall structural integrity of the building. The town council went through thorough discussions and action items to come to the conclusion of requesting RFPs for the demolition of the structure, to include a certificate of appropriateness for the demolition to the Architectural Review Board and an appeal to the town council. The town council finds that it went through all of the proper channels and that the demolition of this building will best suit the needs for all of Haymarket, keeping transparency in the forefront. Even though the condition of the house is not one of great despair or of blight, the resources to bring this building to code and the mere maintenance of the building exceeds the town's sound financial decision-making. Therefore, I move that the town of Haymarket award the bid to Prototype Builders in the amount of $161,749.20 for the demolition of the Town Park House, also known as the Lewis Home, located at 14740 Washington Street. As part of the demolition process, the contractor shall work to maintain the stones from the chimney structure and set them aside for reuse into the future pavilion on site, and a photographer shall be hired by the town prior to the demolition of the structure to properly photograph and document the house.
Second.
Okay, you got a motion and second. Any discussion? Okay, then we'll put it to vote. Roll call, please.
Vianney,
Aye.
Vader,
Yes.
Ramirez,
Yes.
Okay. We'll move on then to item 4 that was amended to the agenda, acting town manager.
Yes, so to be proactive and plan accordingly, I will be starting maternity leave on November 18th, if not sooner. Hopefully it is not until the 18th. But in that scenario, we do need to appoint an acting town manager. I have prepared a draft motion to appoint Roberto Gonzalez as the acting town manager to include a stipend. All of this is in the motion. The way I've written it this time is that on the day that I notify the town that I've started maternity leave, or no later than November 18th. So if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, you have the motion.
Motion, please.
Sure. Mayor, if I may, I move that the town or the Haymarket Town Council appoint Roberto Gonzalez as the acting town manager at the time town manager Emily Curazi notifies the town that she will be taking her maternity leave of absence or November 18th, 2024, whichever comes first, and lasting the duration of Mrs. Curazi's leave of absence. I also move to authorize a $5 per hour stipend for Mr. Gonzalez as long as he is acting in the capacity as the acting town manager.
Second.
Okay, motion second. Any discussions?
Yes. So considering that Roberto is a treasurer and acting as a town manager in terms of separation of duties, right? Can you tell me what safeguards we have in place?
Yes, so for a majority of the treasurer duties, you do have the finance liaison meetings that will continue, and finance liaisons will touch base with him in regards to any financial decisions that are being made at that time. He also distances himself from the check cutting that's done by our administrative assistant, Alexandra. And then the additional check signers, I am a check signer as well as the mayor and council member Passanello. Roberto does not sign any checks, so in my absence, it will fall on mayor and council member Passanello. And then come the new year, when you have an appointment, you guys will make the appropriate decision of who will be the 3 check signers. And if you need to, while I am out, you can assign another check signer in my absence.
So when you come back from maternity leave, will you be reviewing some of the
Yes.
tasks that you would have normally handled?
Absolutely. So what I've done is I've prepared essentially a spreadsheet of what every staff member's tasks are and what they should be working on for the duration of roughly 3 months, give or take till middle of March, just in case. So that's going to be handed over to Roberto, and I also am going to hand it over to, I've right now been working closely with Vice Mayor on this as a point of contact. So I'll be handing that over of kind of, here's the spreadsheet of what everybody should be working on. Here's what should be getting accomplished. Here's what council needs to be controlling, taking care of, to include the transition of everybody who's coming in January, what needs to be set up there. So I will have that to go back and sit with Roberto, and hopefully whoever on council was assisting, we'll all meet together when I come back, go through what got done, how it was taken, et cetera.
Okay, all right, thank you, Emily.
Mhm.
All right.
Any more discussions?
Good.
Okay, we'll put it to a vote then. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Any opposed? Okay. Now we're down to the best part, council member time. Vice Mayor, you're first on the list this
Thank you.
day.
I'm very excited. All right. So first of all, I would love to say thank you so much to all of the volunteers for Haymarket Day. It was a huge success. So thank you for coming out and participating. Thank you to staff. I had an amazing time. So it was lots of fun. I would like to point out that our wonderful Crossroad Art Alliance in the museum has some upcoming classes. So we have the Art of Quilling and Paint Your Own Nutcracker coming up this upcoming month. And then their current gallery show is Everyone's Hometown, which is very exciting. We do have the holiday market December 14th, so I'm super excited to see everybody out and about this holiday season. And with that, please remember to shop small, shop local. Great stocking stuffers, any gift cards. We've got amazing breweries, restaurants, and local boutiques for you to shop. So thank you very much. I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Oh, and please vote. There you go.
Okay, next on the list, Councilmember Vianney.
As usual, I don't have anything to add. Thank you.
Okay. I guess next on the list, Councilmember Ramirez.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to start off by seconding the sentiment of thank you to our volunteers for Haymarket Day. Also, thank you to staff for facilitating such a successful day. You guys had a wonderful presence in your tent and so super friendly, and you could tell our community knows you guys, and that was really astounding and wonderful to see. Thank you, Chief. Thank you to all the police officers who came, and because of you guys, we had a very safe and successful event. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, please extend my thanks to the EMTs for, their help. I know there were a couple of incidents, but it was handled very quickly and efficiently, and they did a wonderful job. I also wanted to note something really exciting happened at Haymarket Day. A couple got married at our Haymarket Day event from the public notary, who they have, the clerk of the circuit court has a mobile notary facility, I guess. And she married a couple there. So that was super exciting. That was pretty cool.
And mayor and council sent them a very nice wedding gift of one of our town ornaments to commemorate the day.
Oh,
So,
I love it. See,
We
that's
did
perfect.
get a hold of them.
Love it. See, that's what our community is about. I also want to thank the police department for their presence on Halloween. Chief, specifically, thanks for bringing your family and making it feel like a family event and just really personal. And I hope your team had a good time. I know our kids did, so. Good, good. I'm glad. I do want to call out a couple of opportunities to support our community. I know there's a current food drive going on at Salon or Studio B Salon and Beauty Bar. They're collecting canned food for the Haymarket Regional Food Pantry. The police department is still a drop-off location for those things. So if you feel like contributing this season, please, you can come here or Studio B. And then the Rotary Club, I know one year they hosted it here, but they collect funds to provide meals for families on Thanksgiving, and they put these baskets and things together. They are doing that as well, the Gainesville, the Rotary Club based out of Gainesville. It's called Gobbles to Go. And then also Boxes of Basics. I know we've had them come and speak here. They are looking for volunteers. So if you know someone who needs volunteer hours or you feel the need to help support them, they provide clothing for families in need in the area. So that's all I have. Oh, also go vote, please, if you haven't already.
Okay, thank you. That leaves me. Okay. I'll start off. I first would like to rebut a public comment made at our work session. Last week, our work session, we discussed the RFP for demolition of the Lewis House in our closed session. After the session, Councilman Schneider made comment questioning council's methods and principles of good governance, stating that we did not consider or perform any analysis for how the building could be leveraged to reduce costs for town through alternative uses or reuse. He also feels we did not consider investments previously made to the structure for anticipation of reuse or the cost of delays for needed facilities, resulting in higher costs to the taxpayer. I accept his opinion and I encourage it. As I say to all incoming board and commission members, quote, in some cases, there will be differences of opinions requiring courage and conviction to make your decision. I support you and will encourage you to stand tall because conflicts like these create the dialogue necessary to make the best decisions, making our town better. I have seen his concerns through the attrition of our other historic assets that we allowed to be demolished. We have lost the Gossam House, the Gossam Grocery Store, the beautiful house on the corner of Payne Lane, the Haymarket Firehouse, just to name a few, all by neglect or progress. I understand why our decisions should be scrutinized and held to higher standards, and accept that since we are the governing body and are less driven by money decisions, right? But I don't understand why he feels we have not used good governing principles and methods with our decision making. To rebut the councilman's statements, I want to rehash what has been done to protect this house and prepare it with minimal cost to the town in mind. In 2020, 2021, there was an initial fit and function discussion. They were initiated because of the request by a private citizen to make the building use as a public-private partnership, repurposing the house as a meeting party space. The agreement would have us absorb all the rebuild costs. So we started our first return on investment cost models all the money management stuff, et cetera, and determined it was not cost effective for the return of benefits that we would have seen in that agreement. We did determine, though, that the foundation needed some repairs to keep it salvageable if we move forward to reuse the building in the future, and that shuttering enhancements had to be made for public safety and to reduce the weathering of the facility. The town invested $7,255 to take care of this. Council followed this up with a full structural report in 2022, which cost the town $5,000, completed in early 2023. Staff was also asked to give a rough order of magnitude of repair cost versus demolition costs. The town also requested a town survey to be held to determine that town residents wanted, how town residents wanted to see the park facility used. It was determined that the town resident survey indicated that the residents felt that the fit and function of the building didn't comply with the evolution of the park's future concept, and that the pavilion was a better fit. That was about 60% to 40% in our survey. It was also determined that the cost comparison was close between the demolition and replacement and the rebuild of the pavilion. But most of the discussions within the council and the council members, I think, agreed in the majority that they felt that when you looked at the operation and the maintenance costs with the utilization of the facility, such as occupancy use and everything, as if you compare it to what we've done or the struggles we've had with the museum as a reference point, that these costs made the pavilion more beneficial. So a demo request was voted by council, by a majority of the council at that point, to start with the demo process. At that point, council held town staff responsible for following procedures for a COA, Certificate of Appropriateness. Is that the term? God, I can't believe I can't get that term out. Appropriateness. That we require our property owners to follow, which the ARB denied, and it was appealed and voted by council and approved for demolition. In the RFP for demolition, council requested options to try to salvage architectural elements for the building to incorporate into the pavilion, and other archiving requests to preserve the history of this asset. This is at a higher expense, which I accept since we do hold ourselves, our decisions as impactful to the town, and feel this is necessary to keep the town history intact. Our future goal is to build the pavilion with architectural elements that commemorate the Lewis House and move forward with park facility improvements that meet the town needs. There are more examples and finer details I could go into, but I think this is enough. These are enough examples to show why I feel that Council Member Snyder's remarks are biased and are easily rebutted. I would like to commend the town staff for the tedious effort that they performed, supporting some of the most silly but necessary requests that we made to make our decision, because we did hold this decision as a major decision in town. To go on to another topic, I'd like to thank our town residents for bearing through the Route 15 closure impact created by this Norfolk Southern construction. And let you all know that we were given minimal notice in its planning. Also, I'd like to thank our police force for an incident-free experience for those 2 days. Thank you, Chief. I'd also like to announce that the Mayor's Walk is this Saturday. Anybody who would like to participate, show up at Town Hall here at 9 o'clock. And we'll walk around and we can discuss any properties that you see or anything in town that you see that you have questions on. Also, this Sunday will be our last farmers market for the year. I will be hosting a special talk with the mayor session to celebrate the closeout. And on that note, thank you. Next agenda item.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.